Good evening, folks. This is Lila with bedtime stories that I'd like to share with you. And with me is Dean Val and also Tim Von Pinnon up in Oregon. I'll be reading for you from the book Your Dream Visions by Duane, the great writer, and we'll discuss the chapters as we go along. The issues with most people are rooted in the past of the mind, of which here there are four basic divisions. The first aspect, the cheetah, takes coordination in form such as beauty, color, rhythm, harmony, and alike perspectives. The second area is the manas, which is more of the mind stuff, that which is constantly created even while the individual is not aware of it. The third is the buddhi, which is the instrument of intellect, thought, and discriminating and deciding. The fourth faculty is the ankar, which executes the orders. These four areas are what Paul Twitchell referred to. The ankar accepts the decisions of the other faculties, which are handed down by the buddhi, and executes its mandates. This is also the I-ness of the individual. It is by which the individual differentiates the self from the all is. It is a faculty which enables the individual to distinguish between his own self-interest and that of others. When this faculty becomes unduly exaggerated, it then portrays the ideas of vanity and egotism. The buddhi is the area of the mind where dreams originate and give birth to our imaginary fantasies. These dreams are passed on by the buddhi to the ankar, but there is nothing to act upon, for none of, or at least a few, have anything to do with the manifestation of the physical world. Sometimes the dream is prophetic, or it has a symbolic meaning for the person to deal with. This means the individual has an action part of the dream. One might then dream out their future, and by doing so, act as the cause for the father and the latter affected in the outer world. One may also go through their dream arena for an ailment which is bothering them, and so whatever has bothered the person within their own bodies or worlds is now healed, and so the physical counterpart is also healed. I'm going to turn this over this evening to Val, and he's going to be reading from the book this evening.
Okay. Tim, do you have any comments on that one?
Oh, yeah, sure. I see it as part of this process of becoming aware. These words like cheetah and mana and buddhi and ankar, and trying to understand what is being described as part of how things work in our human selves to try to understand. I see why we have to be patient with ourselves, because it isn't just all of a sudden we know what things mean. Even though we're trying to understand, it seems like it takes this stuff called time here in the physical to finally, if a person's trying, I guess, to understand what the words mean or what is being said. It's all kind of new stuff in life when you hear of these things that you haven't, really heard of before, or very little.
No, and I also find it interesting. You said the I-ness is in order to differentiate from all else, everything else. Our I-ness. Some people call it, I guess, the ego, or your individuality, which can become inflated or exaggerated. But this is a form of comparison to what the real self is. In a way, it's a comparison. It's used for comparison, which is very important. I'm also studying history and the comparisons between certain researches and certain, theories, very important too, and not just to take things for, what somebody tells you they are. It's good to compare things, because then you get a better, more accurate view of things, and that's what we are here to do in the creation world. We're comparing things. We have our experiences, and we're comparing them to basically what's not real to what is real. And I heard a quote today from this guy Santayana. You may have heard of him. Santayana, something like that. I've heard of him before, but to paraphrase what he said is like, once you exhaust your options, all the options that you've had, whatever's left, that's the truth. So in a way, we have all these experiences in creation, and we go through a lot of stuff here and everything, but it's basically the unknown, the invisible. That's the part that we're comparing the experiences to, and that's the real stuff, the invisible stuff. That's the reality. So how do we relate to that? And that's what the guides are here for to show us how to relate to this reality that is invisible or unknown. Do you have anything, Lila?
No, not quite.
Okay, I'll continue then with the reading, which is, there are those who have dreams of becoming of certain masters or teachers, but the most important dream vision is the one who will be chosen by the true reality to have the new wave is the rod of power. There are many who have developed themselves as masters, gurus, saints, and so on, but these people are mainly from the astral and mental worlds and work with the governors on these realms. Here is the case of agreeable agreement. Most do not want to be the real being or real truth, because those who do know they must pay the price, so to speak, and not to be accepted by all. And so most will take a place as headmasters. In today's world, because the new wave is here, those who still follow the God idea have made themselves very obvious as to where they are positioned. Prophetic dreams are a way of life to many cultures, but only a very few have these experiences, as they were usually a part of the many mystical orders hidden from public sight. Joseph dreamt of an angel who told him of the coming of Jesus, who also showed him what his trials and tribulations would be. Buddha's mother had a series of dreams which showed her new son. Muhammad was a profound dreamer, and the Quran was revealed to him along with its possible future. But as it is seen today, it also has been edited for the public, and has now become a weapon in the hands of those in control. Most Christians do not see the same correlation with their Bible, but it is more than obvious how humans play to their own will with their invented gods. There are others in the past, such as St. Francis of Assisi, St. John of the Cross, and St. Augustine. There are actually so many others in scriptural history, but unfortunately the Church has hidden so much from the public so as to keep them docile to their will and obsessive power. My very good friend Kathy from Idaho, who likes to be called the Shadow Woman, had a wonderful series of real experiences I called The 5 Waves in Book 4, The Adventures of Rebazar Tars. I start out providing the 5 waves, which show the coming of the new man and his new adventures of real courage. The new man was destined and chosen by the true reality and the real universal guides, just as Paul Twitchell was in 1966. A great drama in this realm has played itself out since that time, and there is a lot more to come. This again is the reason most people will choose something in agreement here and not real truth, because they are afraid of the rep systems and their dysfunctional mannerisms of power and control. Why would people fear anything here once they know the true reality is a pure isness? Most masters know the masses do not want real truth because the belief systems have condemned such practices. They want to be bottle-fed with their pretty words and have their emotions excited. Very few will exert the courage to live an Indiana Jones, James Bond type lifestyle and climb to the top of the mountain of the is.
Very, very true. It takes a lot of persistence, and a person has to be more than curious. I find that that's where a lot of people are. They either ignore it or they're just curious. And they just don't have time, they say, to look into this and delve into it. They don't have the heart for it, I don't think.
Yes, it is fascinating that this opportunity for us to become aware of, I guess, what's called truth, that how different it is than the masses of the population on Earth that don't even sound like they want real truth. They'd rather be deceived and have these pretty words or what Dwayne is saying and the emotional stuff about what they think is love, how they want to love each other, and then it's like it's all about this physical realm and the astral realm, and there's actually, it seems like, hardly any idea of the other places in life or the real universes. They all have been deceived so much by reptilians and these Bibles and these Qurans and these masters and so-called prophets and kings and all these things. The deception has just been huge on mankind. So I guess we have a lot of the experiences to compare with when we start paying attention to the new presentation and see the difference between these religions and the educational systems of the earth and the political systems. All these things are made to actually keep us in this these psych realms, dumb to what's really going on, so that we don't become aware of what life's all about for us, or what it is.
Yeah, I heard something interesting the other day. Again, it's a squeeze being placed on us. Everybody's being squeezed into this one-dimensional viewpoint. And again, I'll go back to Tartaria, this ancient, or not so ancient, really, land or country that existed before 1850, particularly, and maybe for even 1,000 years or more, that's been wiped out of the history books completely. They're even falsifying history, and there's many reasons for that. One reason is to create the matrix even more so, because a person doesn't know their history, their roots, then they're more easily controlled. Again, this is a comparison. You know, your history, where you've been, helps to form a comparison, and that's why Dwayne has us write our books, so that we see where we've been. That's like our history and how we came to see the new presentation, Worldwide Educators. So the Tartarian Empire, they used free energy, they had a decent life, their honorable life appears to be, the controllers don't want people to see this as a comparison, so they wiped it off the history books and created a new history for us, and used certain parts of history to create a new one. You know, some of the events did happen, but they created it in their own way and making to benefit them, to form a narrative that benefits them.